Previously on building Benny's movie park. So well, let's then shove it back into the floor. We can simply do this. Crazy potential, guys. But that just saved a ton of time. Is it nice? I'm not actually sure. I am not super happy with this entire area, especially this. It's just a mess. There's so much stuff going on. Buildings, supports, coasters. I am just not loving all of this. There's something off about it. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to day 69 of building Benny's movie park in Planet Coaster 2. If you're wondering why my nose is so red, that's because it has been sunburned. Once again, it's not even the first time. That aside, today we are going... What's going on? Ah, there you go. Today we are going to build, or at least decorate, this ship, which if you paid attention, you know is going to be the Durmstrang... What? Durmstrang ship from Harry Potter. It's gonna look hella cool, also gonna make the entrance, so really, let's get straight to it. I think it's best if we first decorate the ship, then decorate everything around it, and then go ahead and make the queue look a bit nicer and the entrance. So let's do it in that particular order. Let's have a look. In general, I don't think it's gonna look all that accurate because as you can tell, this shape is completely different. However, I'm still gonna try and see how far we can get. Let's go and start with the colors in general. As you can see over here, we've got a bunch of colors, and I'm guessing we're gonna go with mostly brown for the base. And then from there, we can just decorate it and see what happens. Especially these big supports have to be nice and brown, something that matches the ship itself. There you go. We also have these things. I'm not sure if that's really necessary right now. None of these really fit the theme, so let's just do a fade and then make this fade out to a bit of a darker brown. There you go. That's really nice. Can you not change just the base color of the ship? What? You can't. I mean, it's brown. It's all right, but what? Ideally, you'd want it to be slightly more desaturated, but I guess this is what we're gonna have to work with. So let's get to decorating it. I'm hoping we can add that high area using just wooden planks. Just try something here. I'm not sure this will work. I actually don't think so, but we gotta try. Let's actually put it in this position. Seems a bit easier to work with. So I'm trying to kind of put in a frame over here with the base shape, and then hopefully from there we can... I'm not sure. Then I'll try make this a solid structure using crates, because why not? It works. Actually, it looks really clean like that. I will then pop in some nice details such as this. Let's put that on 75%. And I'm seeing a ton of red elements, so let's make this one of those. There you go. That looks pretty cool. Why can I not grab that? What in the bloody hell is this? Oh, that is why. Some of the best moments are the moments where some pieces just fit absolutely beautifully. Look at this. That is just... This might actually just be the way to make that second floor kind of thing. All we have to do is simply extend these. This is such a puzzle, guys. I have no idea if this will work out. I'm just praying that it does. We can kind of turn these into windows if we're smart with it by just doing something like this. Some windows would be nice to add some variety in, you know, structure and detail. Also gonna sort of close up the back. I'm thinking we just use these. Not great, not terrible. For those little weird golden elements on top, I would have to just kind of look through all of these because I don't know what to use for that. We have this. It's not very accurate, but it's at least something. So at least for now, let's pop that in until we find something better. The only other option seems to be this. A bit of a hassle, but I think it might just work. The only thing is it's not golden and you can't really make it golden, I think. This is the closest we can get to it, but it's definitely better than this garbage. So well, let's copy that over to recreate the same effect. We just need to find something perfect for the tops. This is a good start, but a tiny little fancy roof would be nice as well. Except obviously we're never going to find that. I suppose this will have to do. It's not ideal, but it's something. Add some fences around it for that golden edge below. I really don't know if this is gonna look great. It's questionable. so far. Anyway, for now, quickly over here, let's first build the mast, because I think that is also a pretty important part. Let's do that about that high. Now, I already know that this will not fit because, well, the width sticks out. It won't make it past this bar. So unfortunately, either it has to go all the way down, quite a bit smaller, or we simply cannot do a sail. However, what if we do this? Just kind of pop this in place here, because that's very narrow. It's just not as accurate. Hold on. This would then be white. There you go. It's not... I mean, it's a bit weird, isn't it? This might actually be my most big brain idea so far. Dude. Okay, so is it perfect? No. But I think this is really not that bad. We'll just pop one of these in place to finish up that mast kind of design. We in fact do need a few masts. So let's put the second one over here. Just making sure it's attached to everything. Then we also have to create those crow's nests. And we don't really have anything that looks like that. Actually... surprisingly, this is rather accurate. Well, let me just spin that around a little bit. And I think if we just change these colors, we could get pretty close. There's a kind of weird bluish teal color over here. Not even terrible. We can even try adding a tiny little sail on this as well. And from here, it's mostly going to be copying over these elements to fill the whole thing up. Starting over here with yet another sail. I'll just put these in place and be right back with you. Dude, actually this piece is perfect. Besides like the two hands he's got, that is amazing. Okay, anyway, so now we need a bunch of ropes. Here I have one, just gonna make sure they attach nicely over there. And then I have to copy them, and that is actually a bit of a hassle, because as you can tell, the axis is all messed up again. It's going to have to be a bit of a guess. First, I'll just copy them over this way, and then I simply have to tilt them so they all go to the exact same little point. And this actually seems to work just fine. And then after that, we have to spin it around on this axis so it goes nicely into that little spot. Same exact thing on the other side. I hope it's still attached. Seems like it. There you go. Okay, that works. And then manually, I guess I'll just have to add some horizontal ones too. It's going to be a huge hassle, but we will have to make it work because it does look really nice. This is fine. This is totally doable. Beautiful. That is so good, actually. So then now, on top of that, we also need, just in general, a bunch of ropes that attach all these different elements to each other. And this is really pretty much the same as me building that pirate ship for the pirate area, except now a little bit smaller and attached to a ride. And all of these ropes also mean we need to attach them to the actual poles. And for that, we have this lovely rope piece. Look at that. Let's just do two of them. Beautiful. So then, well... I mean, the shape is obviously all the way off. It does not look like that at all. But all the individual kind of details do seem to be in place. Actually, these have to be lighter, though. They have to match the plank right underneath. There you go. That's better. But then, yes. So I think that is pretty much what I'm going to do for the ship itself. If you play it now, as you can tell, that looks pretty cool. I won't lie. That is pretty cool. Is it realistic? Maybe not. It does still... Wait, we're gonna pretend like that did not happen. It's fine. It's good enough, and it looks a lot cooler than it did before. And the only thing I still want to change is adding just a bunch of these wooden supports to it, which would then replace the steel ones. These are, of course, all fake. This would never be wood in real life. It's just for aesthetics. What might also be cool, or at least look cool, is adding this. Only thing is you have no reference for what the middle is, so you're gonna have to guess. But look, I also just realized it swings around this axis, not that. So if I put this here, it now should be perfect. Just have to make it a bit smaller to make it fit. Dude, that actually looks sick. I really like that. Hell yeah. Then finally, let's put some wooden logs over the supports to really make this custom. Even some wooden footers. Is that not bloody lovely? I mean, I don't actually know what's going to be surrounding this, so maybe this is pointless, but we'll see in just a minute. Also, this actually looks terrible. Let's not do that. So this is sure as hell looking a lot better already. Look, a lot better. But now we have to decorate the surroundings, because as you know, nobody is ever walking here. This is all basically useless space. The only area that needs to remain open is the front over here. Everything else we can really nicely decorate decorate. I'm thinking we go with a dock kind of style. I will begin with a base wooden floor right here. Put that right in the corner so it covers the whole thing, and then simply fill up the entire base plane, which right after that I will simply shove into the ground so it's just above the original texture. Perfect. I think something very important is making the entrance look a bit nicer, because right now it's just completely open, which isn't really that immersive. And I just thought of something. What if we just grab this and see if we can use that to spice it up? For example, what if we just put this over here or here, right in front of the entrance? And I'm just going to experiment here. I don't know if any of this will... Oh, now that is really nice. Right now it is in the way of the path, however, so let's fix that. I think something like this will do just fine. I won't do too much here because that's the queue and that we'll do later. For now, it's just this bit. This section of pier is also pretty cool to use here, reuse here. Just gonna make this slightly lower so you can actually see it. Nice. And then around that pier, we will add some rocks again, just to make that landscape look a bit more defined. Just right here. By the way, I have seen the new rocks you can color. That is great, but for now, these actually work just fine. And then, of course, we also have these tiny little lifeboats, which I think we can add on the sides for some decoration. For example, near the entrance here would be fun, just within the ferns. Beautiful. And you know what? Let's make another one of these natural paths here. I think that is actually a bit nicer. There's enough wood here already. There you go. I really like that soil texture here. Just makes it look really nice. We can put some fences on here as well. And to stay consistent with the sea theme over here, let's do these. I always really love the look of these rope fences. Damn, that's a lot of people. Anyways, I'm gonna put in these last few fences. Okay, so now what? Let's have a look. I do think we should add something around the edges. Either just rocks for a cliff effect or sand. I'm not sure, actually. The exit here does seem fine. I'm not sure we should add some more. Don't want to make it too insane. However, the whole platform is still empty. I do not really know what to do yet with that. Let me have a think.
12 seconds later.
I actually might have an idea. What if we just go and grab some of these houses and use them to build a sort of wall of buildings behind this? Almost as like an extension of Hogsmeade. Maybe that could work. Let's have a look. For example, this one like right here. Then another maybe right behind it, filling that up on the back side. Same idea here with these other elements. For example, the small building and these walls. Hell, we could even do that twice over here. And the fisherman. It's just a puzzle. Again, it's one big puzzle and I love it. Using all these elements together really just makes it feel like a little, well, basically this, except an extension of it. You simply have to modify it all to make it actually fit together, but that should be easy enough. There you go. That is perfect. And with the usual junk, we can just spice it up, kind of fix the tiny edges, make sure everything is nicely taken care of. Even some bigger elements could work, such as this cart. Somehow, I like the way that looks. I'm not sure why all of this would be here, but that doesn't really matter. It's supposed to be a mess here. The cable elements, like the rope elements, are also just fantastic for this. In general, the whole Western theme has so many cool parts. Dude, we can even do stuff like this. Yes, this is pretty sweet. Yeah, it's a bit messy maybe, but I think making these elements match that same brown color could help already. And I just noticed you can change the color of glass now, but the default one seems to be white, which looks terrible. Like, what is this? What? Why would you choose white for the default? Oh, that is awful. Okay, well, we're gonna have to change this manually then on every single one of these windows. That sucks.
2 hours later.
On the other side over here, there's actually nothing going on, so let me just put some walls in place here to keep at least those rocks from falling down. Let's make that slightly more convincing by adding some of these rocks, just kind of leaning towards that edge. Here you go. That is pretty cool. And then let's also continue some of these poles for some consistency. One thing I do find pretty annoying is you cannot turn off the fences of the original rides, which now has me covering it up using nice fences. And it's still not completely gone, so I don't love that fact. I want to be able to just turn that off just like the path curb. Anyway, then let me also cover up some of these bits because it just doesn't look so nice. And then after that, I'm actually not sure what else to do here. A bunch of these couldn't hurt though. Of course. I'm all for consistency here, as you can probably tell. For now, I think that is decent. By the way, something very unfortunate, it will never have light coming from the front. It will always be from the back, which is sad. This is the best we can do. Unfortunately, that is the reality. However, this is what we have so far. To kind of shake things up, I will now first continue building the queue and the entrance of the queue before finishing that. Because, well, I also just don't really know what to do here. Anyway, so let's do that. Now, not to repeat myself too much, but with this piece, I actually have an idea. Because what if we use this for the queue path, which is supposed to be a bridge? Let me first try this technique here I'm trying to do. Say I made a piece like this and simply put that on here, copy it over like so, and then the magic comes in just a minute, because since recently we've got invisible path, meaning you can still walk over this, you just don't see it. And that makes this a whole lot nicer, because look, I can just walk over that. I like it a lot. Only the corners are gonna be some work, but I'll check that in a minute. First, let's just go and cover up the straight bits, because that should be easy enough. There you go. All the way to the end. Then now we're probably gonna have to use this small bit to kind of try and get that rounded shape. It's not gonna be great. It's gonna be just mid, but it will have to do because there's not many other options. Here you go, just something like this. It's not terrible, but it's not great either. Look, and then in a second we need to kind of add those poles on the sides. But just like this, we have a pretty cool looking ramp-like thing. Queue path is what I'm trying to say. Let's get rid of all of this and then connect all the corners in a minute, all the way up until the actual station. Good. Luckily, we have these poles, which do look very similar. They're not identical, but it's close enough. Only thing is, how are we going to connect them? We have this rope, but I don't think that is very efficient. It also doesn't look at all the same. Maybe this. This is also not really the same thing, but it's better than nothing. Let's just kind of go ahead and connect all of these corners so we can be done with it. Bam! There you go. So now I hope we can go here and simply walk across the whole thing. Let's test it out just to be sure. There you go. Perfect. I did mess something up. It says no assigned staff. When I assign staff, it says they're not going to work until a certain time. Huh? I just hope that it's gone when I restart the game, but until then, let me just add some supports to this, because right now it is floating. The way I will go about this is simply, I'll make one section again, which I can then copy over a bunch of times to make the whole structure supported. To make the whole, right. I'll just do something simple like this and like that, and we've got a pretty solid little section. We can hopefully just copy over like so. See? That is bloody perfect. And then all we have to do is simply that. Absolutely great. That is not as nice as I had hoped. Oh, what the hell. It'll be fine. Here you go. It's not really that deep anyway. It's just a queue. And besides, in the middle, you barely see it anyway because it's covered by trees. So actually, I'd say this is pretty much perfect. Last one at the beginning here, and then I think we should be good. Let's have a quick look. So it's all the way supported here through there. And then oh, wait, this last section isn't supported yet. Just like that. And the last one right here. Boom. Now it is actually supported. It's not terrible. It's quite nice. We could, of course, see what happens if we add some more trees in between. I hate that. Never mind, it's fine. So yes, that's the queue line. And the last pretty important thing is the entrance of the ride. Right now it's just this, which doesn't tell you anything. And one thing I really do miss about Theme Park Tycoon 2 is the ability to just add images and only images. Just a transparent PNG image to slap on there. That would be great. We don't have that option yet. We do have screens, but the screens aren't quite the same. Sometimes I just want no edges and PNG stuff, and we cannot do that. Yet, at least. So, yes, I do think the name for this ride should be Durmstrang Voyage. Seems pretty cool. However, how do you reckon we do that? Hey? Wait. Wait a minute. No. All these windows. They're all white. No. No. You're saying I have to manually manually fix. Whose idea was this? This looks... How did I not even notice this? What is this? What is that? Oh my god. And the great thing is, all of these are different groups, so I can't even select two at the same time. I have to do them individually. Oh my god. Well, if there's not going to be an episode in the next 5 weeks, you know why. Guys, in the next episode, I will make this entrance sign because there is something else I have to fix first. If you enjoyed this video, I guess, let me know down below in the comments. Like the video, subscribe, and then I hope I'll see you in the next one.